So you finally decided to pick up Back 4 Blood. You're stoked. You can't wait to start blasting. If this is your first rodeo, we highly suggest you check out our 8 tips to get you started, just in case you need a bit of help with those big old bad creepy crawlies. Now, you may have already noticed the 3 difficulty options for the campaign: Recruit, Veteran, and Nightmare. Well, these might seem like the typical easy, normal, hard tiers. They're each about a level higher or more or less. Recruit can actually still be challenging, especially for teams that don't coordinate properly. This means Veteran can be nigh on impossible to beat for more uncoordinated squads, and Nightmare pretty much speaks for itself. If you're looking to beat the higher difficulties without losing your way and your mind, best believe we've got you covered. A cleaner's gotta do what a cleaner's gotta do, and that's survive. What is up, guys? I'm Nisu with Ungeek, and here are 8 tips to conquer Veteran and Nightmare difficulty in Back 4 Blood. We can't recommend enough that you play with friends to fully enjoy Back 4 Blood. However, playing on Veteran all but requires that you play with a team of friends, or at least with 3 other players that are willing to communicate over voice chat. Having a proper strategy is vital, and a lot of calm suggestions, direct orders, and horrified screaming through headsets will be involved before, during, and after each stage. Going gung-ho is a no-no. A team of 4 that refuses to communicate may be able to survive through Recruit, but through Veteran and Nightmare? Don't get your hopes up. With stronger enemies and friendly fire turned on, making minor mistakes can prove to be fatal for everyone on the team. If you don't communicate your positions and your overall strategy for each level, prepare to struggle and suffer throughout the higher difficulties. We know you're here for a good time and not a long time, but come on, at least turn on your microphone for our sake. Evangelo! While all cleaners have their own useful skills and unique items, we found that for Veteran, there are 4 cleaners with skills that form the optimal team, at least in our opinion. This team is composed of Carly, Mom, Hoffman, and Jim. Carly should function as the point person, as she can see special ridden and hazards, plus she has an extra quick item slot. Next up, Mom gives the team a free instant revive, and she has an extra support inventory slot for another medkit. Meanwhile, Hoffman can spawn ammo for each ridden killed, which is perfect for higher difficulties where ammo is precious. He also has 1 extra offensive item slot for more grenades, which is perfect for those pesky birds. Finally, Jim gets increased damage for each precision kill, making him a strong DPS character, especially when equipped with a sniper rifle. If you pick these 4 cleaners though, remember to equip them with the ideal weapons. Jim should get a sniper rifle since he'll most likely be hanging back, while Carly can use a shotgun given she'll be leading the charge. A couple of honorable mentions become viable substitutes once you build a strong enough deck of cards though. Doc's free heal may be substandard by default, but equipping her with cards that boost healing, like Medical Expert and Antibiotic Ointment, can help her shine as a dedicated healer. Holly's melee build can be fun, but you'd best have the proper deck to make it work. Cards like Cross Trainers and Slugger help make up for this disadvantage. Slap on Vanguard and you can even support your team. Home runs for days. See? Cards make that much of a difference. To build the best deck for a Veteran player or Nightmare run, you'll need a lot of cards, since the cards that you get at the start won't be enough to get you through Veteran. This means you'll have to play through the game and do a bit of grinding. Thankfully, this shouldn't take too long. Even after a couple of hours of play, you should be able to build a fairly specialized deck that can get you through the earlier parts of the game on Veteran. However, we do recommend playing through the campaign on Recruit first before making a Veteran run to rack up on the supply points. You'll really need to take a bit of time collecting supply points if you want to have enough cards to build a tailor-made, specialized deck that suits your playstyle. Once you have farmed up points, go and spend them on supply lines. There are a number of good builds, and you can only play around with them if you have the right cards. And trust us, the deeper you go, the more you'll find some absurdly strong cards. While proper team composition and weapons are top priorities, having an ideal deck build is also important if you want to get through Back 4 Blood's higher difficulties, where the enemies hit harder and go down slower. The role that you play should dictate the deck of cards that you build. If you're the team's designated sniper, add strong offensive cards to stack up your damage. Meanwhile, if you usually take point, you'll need cards to beef up your health. There's always a build for everyone. Specialized decks are great, and advanced decks are even better. One of us even ran a sniper shotgun build with the 2 is 1 and 1 is none card, which lets you equip a primary weapon in your secondary weapon slot, but with a minus 25% weapon switching speed penalty. But hey, you don't exactly need to be Quick Draw McGraw when you're hanging back and waiting for enemies to come at you. Or you can do what our friend did and he offset it with another card that increased weapon swap speed. The possibilities are endless. I mean, just look at this. Sniper, shotgun, easy peasy, rid and squeezy. Of course, you should also include other card types to give you some extra survivability. There's always a chance you'll get drop kicked in the face, so it's best to be able to tank those hits. Surviving the zombie apocalypse is all about balance, as all things should be. So keep tabs on those decks before you go running all over the place. The objectives in Back 4 Blood are usually simple, but if you dive into each level headfirst at higher difficulties, you won't have a good time. Because of this, it's important to learn about the objectives and layout of each level before tackling them at higher difficulties. This is especially important if you want to venture into nightmare territory, since you'll need a solid game plan given how much of a pain the Ridden are at that difficulty. Learning the maps is necessary, with supply points to collect, achievements to complete, and useful items scattered across levels, sometimes locked in hidden rooms. Case in point, you'll find a minigun early into Act 1 that proves useful when a horde of Ridden attacks as part of the objective. You can either mow them down while saving ammo or learn the hard way. It's up to you. Towards the end of Act 1, a sequence plays out where enemies spawn from the mineshaft in typical survival horror fashion. You'll need to blow everything up via explosive barrels randomly scattered around the area, or your own grenades. Knowing about this sequence beforehand can help you plan ahead and save valuable resources. It'll also help you know exactly what and how many Ridden to expect before it's too late. The common Ridden are a dime a dozen, all 20,000 of them actually. They're easy to mow down, and unless you're caught off guard or overwhelmed by numbers, you can handle them well enough. Their special siblings are a different story. Knowing where to hit them and just how hard could mean life and death for your team. Identifying weak spots and knowing how to engage them are the keys to surviving encounters. The snitch, avoid completely. You don't want that literal noise in your life. Tall boy, well, it couldn't be that glowing thing on his arm, right? That would be ridiculous. But what about bigger baddies like the Ogre? Your first playthrough on Recruit difficulty will give you the info you need. Where do the boss types spawn? When do they appear? Do they have any weaknesses? Yes, the Ogre hates flashbangs and is deathly allergic to explosives. Through rigorous trial and error, you discovered this fatal weakness and chose to challenge it head on. Or you heard it from us. Both way, you survived, and that's all that matters. Knowledge is power after all. Especially when it comes to knowing what kind of tools for the right situation. As mentioned earlier, there are certain hidden rooms in Back 4 Blood's levels, and for a lot of these, you'll need toolkits to unlock them. This means having a toolkit on you, or at least a toolkit on someone on the team, is a must if you want to get the best weapons and items to help save your skin. The minigun we mentioned is in a locked crate that requires a toolkit. There's also a sequence later on that involves some heavy-duty lawn mowing. Without spoiling too much, let's just say it's a glorious sight to behold. However, to experience this cinematic masterpiece of gameplay, well, you guessed it, you need a toolkit. Lots of these locked weapons and items will be locked away, and if you so choose not to acquire them, you'll only be making things harder for yourself and your team. If you do choose that path of suffering, we only hope your aim is good enough. Finally, here's a tip for players on PlayStation and Xbox. By default, we have noticed that Back 4 Blood on console has aggressive aim assist. While players who don't usually go hard on FPSs may find this useful, we found it to be a bit too much. Again, your mileage may vary, but considering the degree of difficulty Back 4 Blood in Veteran Nightmare, you'll need to be at the top of your aim game. On console, it's a good idea to play around with the sensitivity and other settings to give you the best aim. You wouldn't want to hit your teammates with all that friendly fire damage now, would you? There you have it, 8 tips to help you conquer Veteran and Nightmare difficulty on Back 4 Blood. A challenging and fun game that somehow becomes a test of friendship under tremendous amounts of stress. Just remember to have fun even if that one friend of yours keeps getting everyone killed. Yeah, I'm talking to you, D'Angelo. And for the last time, turn your microphone on. Jeez. How was your experience on higher difficulty? Comment below and let us know what you think. Again guys, I am Nice with Ungeek. Until next time, happy hunting and surviving.